Chapter 9, Number 48. The location of the center of mass of the partially eaten 12-inch diameter pizza shown in the figure is at x of the center of mass equals minus 1.4 inches and y of the center of mass equals minus 1.4 inches. Assuming that each quadrant of the pizza is to be the same, find the center of the mass of the uneaten pizza above the x-axis, that is, the portion of the pizza in the second quadrant. So our first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to recognize that we can treat each piece of pizza, each of the quadrants, as its own separate thing that has its own center of mass. So the one we want would be something like this. We have a center of mass there, and the other ones have centers of mass. And here we can say, well, there's some symmetry that's going to go on here, because clearly this has to be as far over as the one we were looking for. And then hopefully also clearly the fourth quadrant one has to be as far from that line, so it has to be over there. This gives us a bunch of symmetries that we can use. I'm going to start naming some things. I'm going to say, let's call this distance S, and the mirror image of it means that this also has to be S. So this is S, and this is S, and so on. In other words, they're basically all in the same place, they just have to in different angles. And then finally, the center of mass of the whole pizza, not the whole pizza, but the 3/4 pizza that we have here, is located some distance, which I'm going to call L over and L down. And then we know that the total mass times the position of the center of mass is equal to each little individual mass summed times its position. And there'll be an equivalent position for y. We'll work with the x one for now. So in this case, our total mass of our uneaten pizza is m plus m plus m. And then we have to be a little careful because the location of that center of mass is at minus L. And we do the same kind of thing for each of the individual bits. So for the one we want, it's at m, and its position is at minus s. And then this guy, this green guy, is m, and he's at minus s. And then let's give it a different color. This one is m, and she's at plus s. And if we simplify both sides here, we have minus 3m times L. And over here we have minus ms plus ms, which is just minus ms. And now if we simplify even a little further, we can find that s is 3L. So it's going to be at, S is going to be 4.2 inches, since my L was just this positive part. We can see that the setup for the Y would be exactly the same, because we have the same distances, and so we find that the center of mass of this point, which is at minus S comma S, would be minus 4.2 inches and 4.2 inches.